Happy Saturday, guys. I am fully in touch with my feminine side. Hi guys, it's Case. This week's topic is passing. I find this topic quite hard because I don't really like to use the term passing, because I feel like that's something that's using the term passing to me is like you're trying to make yourself look a certain way for other people, and that's not what I'm about. I don't really care how people see me. I suppose I did things. I prefer to use the term like making myself feel comfortable. So the things that I did to pass were the things that I do to feel comfortable in public, rather than, I think the term passing to me is just like trying to make yourself look a certain way for other people and how other people see you, and that's not something that I really feel for me is necessary. So the things that I do to pass or to make myself feel comfortable, or the things that I did do for that, was the number one thing was binding for me. I binded for a good few years, and I started binding like I started binding before I actually started intentionally binding, if that makes sense. Like, I didn't really know what binding was, but I used to make my chest look flatter by using sports bras. I used to use like two to four sports bras at a time, to make my chest look flatter, depending on kind of where I was going, what I was doing, or how comfortable I felt that day. So I started doing that a good, probably like 3 or 4 years ago, and then once I came out and I was kind of like, I understood my kind of gender identity more, I started using tapes and bandages and things, which obviously aren't very safe. And the first binder I bought was actually one off of eBay, which was dreadful. It was horrible and it hurt a lot. So if you're going to get a binder, don't get a cheap one. Do things safely, because it definitely hurts a lot and it's not very comfortable to bind unsafely, and obviously there can be implications medically as well. After I kind of started looking into binding and actually finding something that I felt comfortable in, that I could wear every day, and feel comfortable to go out in, I got a GC2B binder, and I ended up living in, I had a couple and I lived in them until I got top surgery. And they were comfortable. I could wear them all day, every day, and even though you're not meant to, all day, every day, I'd wear them, and that made me feel a lot more comfortable in my own skin. I didn't really like having my binder off or taking it off. The only time that I would not wear it was in bed. Other than that, I'd wear it every day. I tried packing before, but I actually thought that for me, it made me feel more dysphoric about my bottom half, packing, because I found that it was just kind of there, and even when I went to the toilet and stuff, it was just, I just had to move it out of the way, and it just made me feel worse. So I stopped packing. I did get an STP, and I have used it a couple of times, but it didn't really work for me. Bottom half wise, I don't do anything. I just kind of do whatever, and it makes me feel more comfortable to just ignore the fact that I haven't had bottom surgery yet, rather than do something to make it feel, kind of bring my attention to it more, I suppose. In terms of cutting my hair and things, I cut my hair short when I was about 15. I've grown it since then. I've had it shaved. I've had a long top. I've had everything, every style possible. So with my hair, I never cut it to pass, I suppose. I just cut it to make myself feel more comfortable, and also I never really cut it to look masculine. I just preferred it short, and it's a lot easier to cope with rather than having long hair. But I am kind of trying to grow my hair, but I keep getting it cut. So because it gets to a point where it's like the sides grow a bit too overgrown, and then I just feel scruffy. So I end up getting it cut, and so I'm still in the process of growing it again. But I keep changing my mind every time it gets to a point where I feel like it looks scruffy. And that's pretty much it. Other than that, like, passing just came with time, and I knew that it would come with time. I was getting misgendered, even doing the things like packing and binding and stuff. I'd still get misgendered when I went out. So I think that's why I don't really sit well with the whole passing topic, because I feel like if you're trying to pass and you go out and you get misgendered, it makes you feel worse. Whereas if you kind of just do things that make you feel comfortable, if you don't then pass, it doesn't matter as much as if you were really trying to pass. It's got to the point now, after being on testosterone for just over a year, that I rarely get misgendered. Every now and then I do. And when I do, it's the most stupid situation. Like, literally, I had a situation yesterday. I was trying to sort out a workplace, went into a shop, and there was a lady there, and when she was talking, she referred to me, and she was talking to the other person I was with, and when she referred to me, she was like, oh, so why is why is he talking for you? And she thought it was rude that I was talking for this person, but she didn't think it was rude that she just said that, like, literally to my face. And I was just like, whatevs. But I'm just like, you guys are stupid. I'm a guy. You obviously can't see that, so whatever. But hey ho. So there's like, I don't really know what else to talk about. I think that's pretty much it. I think I always kind of knew that it would come with time. Like, I knew that it would come with time, that other people would look at me and automatically think that's a guy rather than whatever else. So I kind of just like tried not to pay attention to passing, because I feel like the more attention I paid to passing, the more I tried to pass. When I didn't, it made me feel worse. So I just kind of went through the motions of it and knew that it would come in time. And it's just one of the things that I think that I personally had to be patient about. And now it's got to the point where I pass the majority of the time. But when it gets to that, it makes me feel so good. Even now, like, if I go to a restaurant and I get called sir, or I'm in a shop and I get called sir, or someone genders me correctly that I don't know, it makes me feel good now. And obviously it's a lot easier after having top surgery and things. I shove on a t-shirt and go out, and that feels absolutely amazing. So in terms of before medically transitioning, passing, I just didn't concentrate on it because it made me feel worse if I concentrated on it and still got misgendered. So passing is quite a hard topic for me because I don't think it's anything I've ever really concentrated on. It's just making myself feel comfortable, really. But that's pretty much it. The only thing I'd say is, if you're gonna bind and things, make sure you do it safely. Make sure you look into it first. With packing and things, I spent a lot of money on things that I didn't really need, like an STP and packers and things, because I tried them out and I thought that I just kind of brought them thinking that they'd make me feel better, and they didn't. So I spent a lot of money on things that I probably didn't actually need. So just be mindful of that. If you're going to try a packer, try a cheap one. If that then works for you and you're wearing it constantly, then maybe that's the time to spend a bit more money on it. Whereas I just kind of went out on a whim and just did it. But that's pretty much it. Peace out. I'll see you next week.